What's up, and welcome back to my channel. So I am in love with the show Younger. So we're gonna be reviewing that show. If you have not watched Younger, it is so good. It originally started on TV Land, but I think now it's on Paramount Plus, and you can watch it on Paramount Plus and Hulu. But yeah, so we're gonna get started. So episode 1, really, so they're in their 7th season. They are in their 7th season. This is the final season, which is pretty good. It's not the type of show that needs to go on forever. You know what I mean? So season 7 literally picks up where season 6 left off, on the cliffhanger. And I would like to state now, at the beginning of this video, that I am Team Josh. Been Team Josh since season 1. I like Charles, but I'm Team Josh. So, you know, going into this, you should know that. Okay, so we're gonna get started. So at the end of season 6, Charles proposes to Liza, right? He proposes to her at Diana's wedding. So we pick up right where that left off with Charles asking Liza to marry him. And she kind of avoids the question a little bit. She just basically it's kind of like, you know, got to think about it. She tells him she loves him, but she needs to think about marrying him because, you know, they are really happy right now, and she's just not sure. So she doesn't really give him an answer. So he jokes that he's withdrawing the proposal and for her to ask him when she is ready to get married. After that scene, we pick up Lauren is turning 30. After we pick up from the episode, we learn that Lauren is turning 30, and she, from last season, we know that she kind of works at Millennial, at their job, as like helping Diana out, and she returning from the season. Diana is on her honeymoon. Yeah, Lauren is kind of taking over some of her duties, and she is just like embodying Diana. Like, she is wearing these power suits. She has like a professional looking haircut. And yeah, so Lauren is just out here doing the most. She wants people to call her Diva, because, you know, she calls like Diana and Maggie Diva. Previously, from last season, Kelsey reached out to Quinn about helping to like start a new venture. But she wants to let Quinn know that she is going to turn down the funding because she's going to come back to work at Millennial. Charles offered her a seat on the board, and he's making her like a kind of equal partner with him. So she's like nervous about how to tell Quinn because, you know, Quinn is kind of crazy. So that's her dilemma at this point. Yeah, that's her dilemma at this point. I knew that thing with Quinn wasn't going to work out anyway, just from last season, just because Quinn is too much. She's too much. But we'll see how that goes with Kelsey confronting Quinn. Not confronting, but like just letting her know she doesn't need her help anymore. So Josh lets them know that Claire wants him to sign off on getting Gemma, their baby, a passport or visa so she could go to Ireland to visit her family. And introduce him to the baby, but he's like thinking she's trying to kidnap their baby, and Lauren agrees with him. He's like worried that she might not come back. He is wary to even sign off on getting the baby the visa. So Kelsey meets with Quinn to let her know, you know, she doesn't need the funding now. Thanks so much for trying to help me, but I'm going to stay at Millennial. And so Quinn is really more nonchalant and just like takes it easier than I thought she would have. She's just basically telling Kelsey, you know, you're scared and, you know, you're gonna regret. She basically tells her she thinks she's gonna regret the decision to go back. Like, you're running home to dad because in this scenario, Charles would be dad. You're running home to daddy, to Charles, just because you're scared to venture out on your own, and you're gonna regret it. Quinn, I don't know. I was really surprised that she even took it that easy with Kelsey telling her she didn't want to work for her, because Quinn is like selfish and kind of egotistical, and I don't know. So I was like, maybe it'll come back. She'll do something sinister. So they go to a staff meeting, and Charles lets everybody know that the Arabian Sea, the book that Zane brought them, is doing really well. And he welcomes Kelsey back to the team because, like I said, she is a partner now. and on the board. And I was wondering where Zane was, because he wasn't in the meeting. So Kelsey wonders where Zane is too. And leaving the meeting, Charles tells her that basically Zane felt a type of way. He felt slighted because he helped him, Zane and Charles had started that company together, but Charles decided to put Kelsey on the board and give her that seat, and he felt a type of way about that. He felt betrayed by Charles because he gave Kelsey that seat, and he quit. Zane's always quitting. I just think his reasoning I don't know. So Kelsey storms off and calls Zane we see them on like FaceTime. And she calls Zane on FaceTime and is like, Charles told me you quit, like what's happening? And he just basically saying he cannot work there anymore. Just like last time, he can't work there really with her being his boss. And he says that there's no place for him at Millennial anymore. And I don't know. And then he says he loves her and she says she loves him, but he decides to break up with her anyway. It was just the most random thing. And for it to be through FaceTime, like I wonder what's happening with that, like behind the scenes of the show. Because like, why wouldn't he be back on the show? It just makes no sense. Like that character, they always throw him in and pull him out real quick, like with no good explanation. And if they are like love each other or whatever, for that to be the excuse of why they are breaking up, it was, I don't know. I didn't buy none of that. I think that was like a rushed excuse for him to get off the show for whatever reason. And so I didn't like that. But so Zane, tells her he loves her, but they can't be together, and he needs to like figure out his place somewhere else. Oh, okay. Bye. I don't know what to say. Like they keep doing it with them two, pulling him in and pulling him out. I cared at first, but now I don't care because it's the same excuses last time and nothing has changed. So moving on. And Liza comes in and Kelsey cries on her shoulder because she is like, understandably distraught about the whole Zane situation. So Liza meets Charles in his office, and she still hasn't, come up with an answer for him. And he tells her she probably should make a pros and cons list. He's joking, but he's like, you should probably make a pros and cons list. But, he is patient. He's like, I'm waiting for you to come at me with that yes. He's going on a trip with Kelsey to go talk to the board. So she says, once you come back from your trip, we'll have dinner and we'll discuss it type of thing. So, that's where they kind of leave it. But he's not taking it too seriously. He's like, I know she's going to say yes. I know she's going to ask me eventually to get married. So he's not really worried about it. He's just joking. And Liza is actually really worried because she's like, I don't know what to say to this question. She doesn't know to give him a yes or no on whether or not to marry him. Claire is at Josh's house with the baby, and they speak again about the him signing off on the visa for her to take the baby to Ireland. And so Josh, he jokingly but seriously is like talking to the baby like, if you don't come back, Daddy's gonna come and get you from Ireland, because he really does not think Claire is gonna bring this baby back. He is very paranoid about it. And Lauren, in an Irish accent, is like, they're always after me, Lucky Charms, letting Claire know that they think that she's gonna steal the baby. So Claire's like, she's like, I can't believe you guys think I'm not gonna come back with this baby. And so, but Lauren don't care. She's like, serious concern. Are you coming back? But yeah, Claire is like, I am coming back. So after Claire leaves, Lauren shows Josh the footage of Diana's wedding, and she's like, there's something you need to see from Diana's wedding. And she shows him the footage of Liza. She has footage of Liza and Charles on the dance floor, and Charles actually proposing to Liza, and he's like trying to play it off, and he walks away like, that's nothing that interests me. But you can tell he is bothered by it, because as we all know, Josh still loves Liza, and if Liza was to give him another chance or to like indicate that she was ready to go there with him again, he would be ready to. But he tries to play it off and walking away saying, that doesn't interest him, when we know it does. So the next day at work, Lauren is at the Millennial offices, and she kind of hints to Liza that she knows that Charles proposed to her. She kind of hints about, like, I saw some interesting things on the video I have of Diana's wedding. And so she kind of hints to it about it, but doesn't really say it out loud. Liza's looking like a little worried. So they meet with an author to talk about a book that she's writing, and it's a concept of Little Women, the book Little Women, but putting it in space. And Lauren thinks that's the perfect theme for her 30th birthday party, Little Women in space. As we talked about earlier, Lauren is turning 30, so she needed a theme, so she's like, yes, Little Women in space, perfect. Lauren tells Liza, or basically tells Liza, that she knows Charles proposed to her and congratulates her, but Liza says, I have not given him an answer yet. So, it's not congratulations because I haven't given him an answer yet. With Liza and Charles, like, I think people that are Team Josh, Team Charles, like, I'm Team Josh, and I think people that are Team Charles seem to be only Team Charles because of the age thing. Like, he's her age. Yes, he is her age, but I feel like her and Josh, I don't know. Like Liza, the way they describe it in the show, Liza, when she was young, she had her baby, and she spent most of that time being a mother and a wife, and she didn't get to do a lot of the things that she wanted to do. And Charles has had those opportunities, because back when he was 20, to do those things he wanted to do, to live life and everything like that. And so I feel, as far as experience, her and Josh are where they need to be together. Like, through her 20s, she was being a mother. And so, as far as experience, I feel like her and Josh are the same age. Like, they are growing up together. They grew up together, if that makes sense. Like, Josh and her experienced a lot of first, and things for her were also first and things for him. So I feel like, in that sense, they are at the same place. So Charles is a nice guy. I really like Charles. And if Josh was never introduced, I would root for him and Liza. But because Josh is in the picture, he's just a better option to me for her. Like, I feel like she loves Josh, and I feel like she really wants to love the idea of Charles. He's like stable. He has a ready-made family for her, and he's somebody that her friends can accept, that society can accept, and he's a successful guy, and he's a good guy. But I think Josh, he is someone that is exciting to her, that she has fun with, and I think she actually loves him. I think she loves Charles, but like, what do you say? I think she loves Charles, but she is in love with Josh. That's good. Look at that. She is in love with Josh, and she should pick him. But yeah, so like I said, I think they kind of grew up together. Like, her 20s were spent being a mother. So a lot of the stuff that her and Josh did together, like things that you do, reckless things that you do as young adults, as in your 20s, she never did. So she was doing those with Josh. With Charles, she doesn't get to experience those things because he already did those. Those are old news to him. And he's not interested in doing things like that. But she is, because she never got to do it. So her and Josh, I feel like, are living life, the same life together at the same time, and growing up together, as opposed to Charles, who's already done those things and is not interested in doing them again as an older person. But yeah, so she should pick Josh. So Charles and Kelsey, like I said, Charles and Kelsey were going to meet with the board, and the board decides that they do not think that the company should be called millennial anymore, because millennials are getting older and they're aging out. They're not fascinating like they were, like they used to be. They don't think they're as cool as they used to be, like millennials, because millennials are not the young kids on the block anymore. So they think like a timeless name was Empirical. So the board rules to change the name back to Empirical. And Kelsey and Charles both voted no, but they were overruled. So Kelsey feels the type of way about that, because Millennial was her company, the name was her name. So changing it back to Empirical makes it seem like she doesn't have any say in the company anymore. Like she's like the assistant again. So she feels the type of way about that, and she starts to kind of regret her decision to stay at now Empirical. instead of going on the venture with Quinn. So Charles runs into Quinn at the bar while they are in Chicago before they go back after their meeting. And she's talking to him, and she's being really nice. Like, I don't like this nice Quinn because it's suspicious. It's suspicious. She's being nice, and she apologizes for all the chaos she caused last season, pulling her funding from their company. The company had to scramble to get investors for the company so it could stay afloat. And she basically talks about how she failed within her Senate race and everything like that. And she's being really nice, and they have a little moment, and I was quite frankly annoyed that, I don't know, I was like, I don't need a Quinn redemption arc if that's what we're doing. I don't need it. And I don't need Charles to be friends with her. Like, what? And so I was a little worried because I was like, please don't try to have Charles cheat on Liza or something, or get with Quinn, because I don't want it. I don't want it. So yeah, I was a little worried about that. But yeah, she was being suspiciously nice and apologized for everything she did. So Josh goes to Claire's house to drop off the baby's visa. He did go ahead and sign off on it, and the visa was delivered so that the baby can travel with Claire to Ireland. While he's there, he offers to take them to the airport and get her settled in and everything at the airport, but she's like, no need. And the guy walks from the back, and turns out Claire got her a man. Claire got her a man, and she don't need you, Josh. She got her a man, and her man looks suspiciously like Sam Winchester from Supernatural. Does very much look like Jared Padalecki, giving me Jared Padalecki. And he's like, what's up, bro? I love your daughter. And Josh was looking a little annoyed, and he was looking like, what? Like a little worried. And it was weird I guess maybe it was just because it was a surprise, because I don't think he likes Claire like that, in a romantic way. But maybe just because somebody would be hanging around his daughter or something like that. But yeah, so Josh is a little bit caught off guard that Claire got her a man, but Claire got her a man. And she don't need Josh to take her to the airport, okay? So Lauren has her Little Women in Space party, and they all show up. I don't know what the time frame is of this, but they put this party together very nicely and quick, depending on if it was in a couple days. I don't know. So she is descending from the sky in a glittered bodysuit. She's descending from the sky on a harness. she's just doing all her extra Laurenisms, and she's so funny. I love her mom. And so they're shirtless guys going around the party with serving trays with space helmets on. Everybody's at the party. Liza, Kelsey are also there, and while Liza is standing in the crowd at the party, Josh comes up to her, and he basically tells her, no, congratulations, because he knows about Charles proposing to her, and so she knows that Lauren told him. So he says congrats to her for her proposal, and she says that she hasn't given Charles an answer yet. So Josh is confused, and he's like, why? I thought you liked him. And she's like, I know you never liked him. He's like, I liked him for you because I want you to be happy. And he's like, I really want you to be happy. And kind of if Charles makes you happy, that's what I want you to have. And she tells him, I always want you to be in my life, no matter what. And sometimes Liza, to me, is a little bit selfish, because in season 6, she was ready to drop She was ready to drop Josh. After she promised to be there for him forever with his kid and everything. She was ready to drop Charles. I'm sorry. She was ready to drop Josh. She was ready to drop Josh, because she wanted to give her relationship with Charles a chance. But she won't distance herself from Josh when he needs her. When she needs him. She keeps him on the back burner, and then when she has a relationship, she wants Josh to always be there for her. It's just, I don't know, sometimes she seems kind of selfish to me, because I feel like she knows Josh loves her. He has been very clear. I don't think they've had a conversation that has indicated that he has fallen out of love with her. Seems like he's very much still in love with her. And for her to be like, I really always want you to be in my life. Okay, but when I told you I needed you to be in my life, you was like, bye, deuces. So I don't know. I want them to be together. I'm just saying that little part annoys me a little bit. So she's like, I really want you to always be in my life. And he says, you know, their relationship, they're just us. They don't have to define their relationship ever. They just always are going to be them. They're going to be them, Josh and Liza. And they hug, and it seemed like they had a moment. I was like, are they about to kiss? Like, what's happening? But they didn't. They just hugged. She kind of just walks away with a smile on her face, and she texts Charles to meet up with her. She texts Charles to meet up with her, and Charles like, name a time, name a place. Name a time, name a place, because you know he ready for his answer to his question. Will you marry me? And so we go to the glass carousel where they had like a date or something in season 6 or 5, and she's waiting at the carousel when Charles shows up. Charles is like looking excited. He is smiling because he's like, he looking like he knows she about to say, will you marry me back? Like propose to him, and like they about to be engaged. He just know it. And Liza basically tells him, you know, we have both been married and it didn't work out. And I was like, it's going downhill, Charles. It's going downhill from here. And she tells him, you know, we both been married, it didn't work out. And I love what we are. I love you and you love me. And I want us to stay like this. And she says, I want to be happily unmarried to you. Yeah, so she tells him, I want to be happily unmarried to you. And I was like, well, what is that? What is that? I knew she was going wrong. So she said it. And she can't read the room. Because as she was talking, he was looking like, no, thank you, ma'am. The whole time she was talking. And she kept going. So she said she want to be happily unmarried to him. And he tells her, you know, thank you for sharing your heart with me. But no, thank you. He says, like, you know, he doesn't want to be, he doesn't not want to be married. He wants to be married. He wants a family. He wants that title, and they want different things. And basically, he can't do that. He can't do what she wants, and she doesn't want what he wants. So he says, you know, I'm sorry. And he walks away. So they kind of break up after that. And that is how the episode ends. I was like, okay, writers breaking Charles and Liza up in one episode. I didn't expect that. Like I said, I'm Team Josh, but that seemed so quick. One episode, they already done so. I was like, okay. But yeah, so that was season 7, episode 1, the season premiere. Like I said, this is the last season of Younger, so I guess they're just trying to move fast. Like, if Josh and Liza are in game, I guess they want to get them together quickly. I don't know. But Liza and Charles, as of this episode, seem to be over. So we'll see how that goes. But love the show. Yeah, so that was Younger season 7, episode 1. Please tune in again for my other reviews on this show. Thanks so much for watching my review and recap. Please like and subscribe. Tell me your thoughts on Younger below in the comments. If you love Younger, if you hate it, tell me if you're Team Charles or Team Josh, and let's talk about it. So I'll see you guys later. Peace.